I lifted up the sandbag, and that's when the device detonated. Initially, it knocked me off my feet straight away, obviously, because I lost them, but I was like knocked backwards, and I realised straight away that I was pretty badly injured, and I knew instantly that I'd lost my feet and that. I still had my left arm, but it was damaged, and that's when I just got to give him first aid. Then the medic come over and he started to administer first aid on us and drag me out of there, really.
Were you conscious throughout all of this?
Yeah, I was conscious the whole way throughout, and like fully conscious as I am now. I was missing those limbs, but it's strange. I was in no pain, and like I initially tried to get up and just crack on, and the only way that I didn't do that is because I couldn't get up on my feet. So yeah, it's just strange to be fully conscious the whole way throughout, and up until the helicopter arrived, where I believe they put me out of it then. So
when did you next wake up? Was it in Selyoke or?
They said I was awake in Afghanistan when I was in the field hospital in Bastion. I can't remember any of that because the amount of drugs I would have been on and that, but I remember waking up probably 3 or 4 days later in Selyoke, and that's when I realised my arm had been amputated, and obviously I was gutted by it, but I knew how severely I'd been injured in Afghanistan, so I just sort of like looked at it and just thought, there's nothing I can do about it now, I may as well just crack on. So
that's an amazingly resilient spirit. Have you always been sort of like that, just get up and go?
Yeah, pretty much. I just see it as sort of another test in life. Like I've always been given tests, like getting into para was a test, and then joining the platoon I joined, and all that sort of stuff. It's always been tests, and I just see this as another test in a way, just getting on with things and, well, getting as good as I can in the position I'm in. Like,
talking of getting on with things, I guess that's what you've been doing
yeah,
in the past year or so. I mean, just look at some of the things you've done, apart from, I guess, walking.
Yeah.
Was the main thing. Just tell us how you're getting on with those prosthetic limbs.
Doing pretty well on them now. My main goal, obviously, when I got injured, was to be up and walking again for my medals parade in November, which I achieved. And then it's just getting better and better on those, really. Putting all my weight back on was another big thing as well, because I lost a hell of a lot of weight, and I've put that back on now. And yeah, just generally getting better on those, and like the better you get on them, the better legs you get, and all that sort of stuff. Like eventually, I'll be running up and around here on my running legs and that, and I'll be on my legs all day.
When did you did some skiing, didn't you? Is that something that was new to you? Had you done that before, or again was this another test you set yourself?
Yeah, I'd never been skiing before, and one of the sergeant majors who runs a battleback company in Headley Court, he came up to me and asked if I wanted to go skiing for a couple of weeks in Bavaria, and first thing I asked if it was free, and it was, and yeah, I went skiing for a couple of weeks, and I loved it, loved every minute of it. And
how'd you get on?
Done really well, actually. Like they don't have many guys doing it with one arm, so to use a prosthesis as well, they found out that you can actually do it now. So, and it's there's a lot of like trialing things with me, because there's only me and another guy, Mark Onrod, who's a Marine, in my position, in our positions where we've lost 3 limbs. So a lot of things are just trial, like, and if we can do it, then pretty much anyone can do it. So that's the goals we set ourselves.
You kind of seem to be determined to do things that ordinarily people would think you wouldn't be able to do, like skydiving.
Yeah, skydiving was one thing that's always been part of my life. Anyhow, not so much skydiving, but I've always been in, well, parachuting, obviously in the paras, and to be able to do that again was a massive thing. Like I knew Mark had done one, and he'd not parachuted prior to that either, so he'd done one. So pretty much whatever he's done, I've had to better or do as well. So I went and done that, and I'm hoping to start my actual skydiving course again at the beginning of the summer. So
there doesn't seem to be anything that you're not really prepared to just carry on as normal life.
Yeah, I'll try to. And
is it important for you to do that?
Yeah, right. I'm not the type of guy who just like sort of sit around and just mope about things. I'd like to just, if it was down to me, I'd be out doing stuff all the time. But obviously, I've got to do my rehab, and I've got to do. Well, eventually, I'm going to have to go back to work as well. So, no, I've just got to do stuff like that. It's always been part of me anyhow. With my job, I was always doing that sort of thing. So this gives me a buzz in a different way, I suppose.
And what about your mates? Do you get to see them much, or are they still away?
Yeah, my mates are all, well, the mates are pretty much always about. I've got obviously a lot of mates in the army, and they're all away doing their army sort of things at the moment, but I've also got a lot of mates back home, and they're always here and they're always about with us, and we're always just generally knocking around doing something.
Is it good for you to be able to continue working in the army, because they not only understand what you've been through, but I guess understand what you're still having to go through?
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't like to get out of the army. I enjoy it too much. I just enjoy being around people and just generally just getting on with things. Like I just couldn't imagine like sort of life without it, I suppose. Like, because obviously it's all I've been used to is the army and that. So if I was to leave, then I'd just be bored, I suppose.
You are very upbeat. I just wonder if you had flashes of anger or bitterness along the way.
Not really, no. From my injuries, I haven't really, no. Little stuff winds me up, like in my parents' house used to wind me up a little bit. It's just like getting in and out of smaller rooms and stuff like that, because obviously I'll be in a wheelchair or on my legs and it's a little bit harder, and that used to wind me up, but not really, no. I just see it as well, no, I can't describe it in any other way.
Just how does it feel, I guess, to have regained your independence fully now with your own house?
Yeah, masses. This was like one of the big things is getting out by myself again. Obviously, having to move back to my parents' house was great when I first was injured and that, and getting away from that hospital environment to my parents' accommodation and that, but now to be in my own place and that again, and it's great. It's great just being able to do what I want and having people around who I want to have around, and well, just having my own space, because I was very restricted in my parents' house, obviously, because they weren't prepared for me, obviously, coming back the way I am, and I was sleeping in I couldn't go to my room at my parents' house, so I was having to stay in the dining room and that, and I was very restricted to the amount of space I had, but whereas now I'm living in this massive bungalow and I can't fill up all the rooms, so not too much now, I'd say.
Great, thank you very much.